In this video, I'm going to answer one of the most common questions I get on a regular basis. What steel should I get and where can I find it? Now, there are tons of different options out there and it can be quite tricky to figure out what you need for your purposes. However, one of the biggest suggestions I can give you is when you find something, stick with it and learn that steel from the ground up and get used to it. For example, the first steel that I picked and that I got to learn was C45. Now that is a medium carbon steel, works quite great for hammers and pretty alright for axes, which was what I was interested in making anyway, so it worked out great. But the biggest reasons why I picked that steel was that I found a way to get a hold of it. Let's face it, if you don't know what you're looking for, it's going to be really hard to find it. But back when I decided that C45 might be a good option for me, I started calling all the manufacturers around in my local region, because we have some steel mills here, right? And they had absolutely no idea what I was talking about. They had no clue what C45 was. And the reason they didn't know that was because it was not called C45 in their register. It had a different name. But more on that later. So what steel should I use? Well, if you're just starting out, I would suggest trying to find a scrapyard or a car repair shop and see if you can perhaps pick up a few pieces of steel for free or very cheap. Do you have a blacksmith shop around? Maybe you can ask them if you can pick up some scrap material. If you live close to me, you can do it here. But I mean, the first thing that I started forging was an old part from an old farming machine that I found buried in the dirt. In the beginning, it's more about just moving metal and get used to how it works, rather than, for example, how to harden a knife or an axe, you know? Before we leave the scrapyard, I would also suggest looking out for coil springs. Now, these are usually made from 5160 or something similar to that, which is a spring steel and can be used for knives and other edge tools, basically. Now, some of you might be saying, Nils, been there, done that. Let's move on. All right. I will now give you a very simple list. Now, if you are a professional and have spent years deep diving into what kind of steel you need for your specific purposes, this list is not for you. This is for beginners. Number 1, C45. Great for hammers, works alright for axes. Number 2, 4140. Great for axes and hammers. And other tooling like drifts and stuff like that. Number 3, 1075. Great for knives and edge tools. Number 4, 5160. Great for knives and edge tools. You don't have to be more specific than that in the beginning. So let's say you want to make knives. Then I would buy 1075 and I would use that steel and learn how it works, how it moves under the hammer, how to harden it, and really stick with that steel until I really know how it works. There will be more than enough time to try different steels in the future, I promise. And then when you find another steel that you want to try out, you can compare the two. It gives you kind of a reference point. Now, where do I get these kinds of steel? Maybe you have been watching some videos on YouTube and you can't find the steel that they are talking about. The reason probably is that the steel has a different name in your country. Find out what your country's standard is. And you can find that by, for example, typing in 1045 steel equivalent. That will take you to a website called equivalentmaterials.com, I think. And there you can see a list of different standards, what it's called in different regions, basically. So after that, I would call the local manufacturers again and try the new name that you know is, for example, in Sweden then. Even if that doesn't work, it might be because they are just focusing on construction steel. So that might be it. But another way you can try, if they still don't know the name, is that you can try explaining what the steel is used for. Before we move on, I would also want to suggest one more thing. Find out if there's a local metal CNC shop close to you, because sometimes they actually use really nice high carbon steels for axles and stuff like that. And maybe you can buy some scrap from them, or they can help you place an order. Because there's one more little thing about buying from these local manufacturers, at least here in Sweden. And that is that if you are going to place an order, you have to place an order for a lot of steel, or else they won't even take your order. But I will now give you a small list of places where you can buy really high quality, high carbon steel in small batches, and some of them ship worldwide. Now, I'm not sponsored by any of these, but I just wanted to share the knowledge. So the first place is Eurotechni, and they are based in France, but I think they ship in Europe, not sure about that. The second place is SI Knives. They are based in Sweden. The third place, Castor Steel, also based in Sweden, but I think they ship in the north. The fourth, Lino, based in Sweden and Denmark. Angele Shop, based in Germany. Artisan Supply, based in Australia. Blacksmith Depot, based in the US. New Jersey Steel Baron, based in the US. Now, all of these places, they will know what you are talking about. So if you send them an email, they can probably help you out if they don't have that specific type of steel that you're looking for. But they can most likely help you out and give you smaller quantities as well. Great for starting out. Now, if you are watching this video and you already know of a really great place to buy steel, please share it in the comment section with a link so other people can find it out. Also, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. That really helps. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.